call to one mission. We came this far not to lose the war.
We are a bunch of aces who never back down from any challenge.
We have won battle after battle.
Our giant heart remains intact.
Our call of duty is to fight.
Fight until we are the only one left standing.
It's a festive atmosphere here in the Araneta Center as people from all walks of life are starting to fill up the big dome to witness two different possible historic feats unfold before their eyes. Purefoods fans wearing the red, white, blue colors of their team will be cheering for the TJ Giants to win the championship tonight and become the second team only in league history next to Crispa to win the All-Filipino crown 5 times. On the other side of the fence, Alaska fans wearing the red, white, black colors of their team will be cheering for the Aces to win the first of 4 games they need to change history and become the first team in 35 years to come back from a 0-3 deficit to win the championship. Good evening, basketball fans. You are watching live on Solar TV the finals of the 2009-2010 KFC PBA Philippine Cup here in the Araneta Coliseum in Cubao, Quezon City. I'm Chicky Reyes and I will be joining you in the coverage of Game 4 of the finals between the Purefoods TJ Giants and the Alaska Aces. But before the tip-off, we have some pre-game events for you, one of which will be the awarding ceremony for the Best Player of the Conference Award. And our nominees for this are Kelly Williams, Mac Cardona, Arwin Santos, Joe Devance, James Yap, and Willie Miller. So, will the confetti and balloons fall for Purefoods tonight, or will Alaska come back on Sunday for Game 5? Hold on to your seats. It's the Purefoods TJ Giants versus the Alaska Aces in a few minutes.
Goes in the favor of the Purefoods TJ Giants. Ball is down play. It's over to Canaleta for 3. No, it's short. And that is going to sail out of bounds.
When KJ took that hurried shot, I heard nothing on the bench, but let's bail him out, let's bail him out.
I don't think it's coming down to energy. I think it's coming down to their ability to defend and the execution. They've out-executed us down the stretch.
Almost a turnover there. Kirby gets it back. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Kirby trying to work around the D. He gets through with the finger roll. Holding and Mulder is all fired up. 5 seconds of that play. Nobody coming out to receive the pass. Miller makes it in the nick of time. What a difficult shot by Willie Miller.
I respect the game of Willie Miller, and towards the end, you always want to give it to your best player. That's why we really made sure that Willie at least makes a contested shot.
It's Willie Miller. Willie Miller almost loses his footing. A second to go. There's the jumper off the glass. No! And the Purefoods TJ Giants have taken game number 3.
And once again, our defense held up.
And there are 2 questions you ask when one team in a game, in a series that goes 7 games, supposed to go 7 games, when one team reaches 3 wins already. The first question you ask is the team that has already scored 3 wins, will they close out tonight? On the other side of the floor, the team that has not won 3 games, and in fact has not won a single game, can they stay alive? Sep Sarmenta here, alongside my good friend of 20 years. I have very few friends from over 20 years, and Dr. J, definitely one of them. Dr. J, it's been a close series despite the awesome lead of Purefoods.
Yeah, pleasant good evening to you, Seb, and to all our basketball fans. There are obviously a lot of Purefoods fans hoping that they can close the drought since 2006. I think that was the last championship for Purefoods. And then obviously on the Alaska side, to want to be able to redeem themselves. They have not played well in the series. Uncharacteristic of this team to be giving up big leads, double-digit leads in games 2 and 3, and to lose in the end game. It doesn't happen to the Alaska Aces. So this is what they hope to be able to overturn tonight. Are they capable? Of course they are. It just depends on the kind of attitude they put to this game.
Absolutely, because if you take a look at the numbers, they're somewhat misleading and they do not actually fortify the 3-0 edge at Purefoods, but take nothing away from Purefoods. It's been close so far.
Well, look at the games now. The plus points are only a +2, which is the difference of 3 games, a total of 6 points. The 2-point field goal percentage has been in favor of Purefoods. That means their big men have been able to get to the inside game, and as Tim has said, they've executed well and they've scored higher percentage shots. Free throw shots, not very good for Purefoods. The rebounding department, you would probably think that Purefoods would have an advantage because of their big men, but Alaska doing their fair share of that area, even the assists, and that is why it's been a close game. But the points coming in the end game, when it really counts, have come from the Purefoods tender giants.
As you will see in the next graphic, because it's been in the 4th quarter, and you're absolutely correct, Dr. J. Lalamang ang Alaska, tapos mawawala sa 4th quarter.
Look at the 3rd quarter. Alaska has taken that by 3 points, but Purefoods takes the 4th quarter by an average of 4.6 points a ball game. So, you know, they've never gone to a 4th quarter where they've been down by 6, 8, 10 points, that they've been scared that we cannot make the comeback. Their defense has been their key. They've been able to make stops, and eventually, I feel Alaska has tired out in the 4th game, especially in game number 3, where the rotation was very much shortened, and a lot of players that played in the first 2 games did not see action at all in game number 3, especially in the second half.
On the other side of the floor, a bit of the bench being utilized and a slight edge in bench scoring, as you will see in this picture.
Well, this is where Purefoods really strengthen up. And like I said, because of the longer rotation on the part of Coach Ryan Gregorio, up to 10 players, even though some may only play 4 or 5 minutes per half, you can see what happened there. The big advantage, a little advantage on the guys coming off the bench, especially led by Cañaleta. Don Aliado has been trying to relieve some of his old glory. Jun Simon had a good game in game number 3, and Meyer Offer together also had a good game in game number 3. On the other hand, Huknatan has been the only one, but for me, really, he's been a missing link, because that's 6.7 points and only 5 rebounds a game, plus 4.3 turnovers, and many of them in the end game have hurt the team of Alaska. This is the guy that they really expect a lot, and maybe tonight you will find the reason why Team Cone has put him into the starting lineup.
Might as well get him off started early. In the meantime, of course, we've been focusing also on a battle of MVPs. Of course, they have to carry the load.
Well, we have a 2-time MVP, Willie Miller, not really ringing Miller time right now in the end game for the last few games for Alaska. Although he has been very consistent with his numbers, 18.5 points, not high in the 3-point percentage, rebounds, assists. He also averages 3.6 turnovers per game in this championship series. James has really come out from his very poor performance in the quarterfinals, improving in the semifinals, and just really been fantastic here in the finals with an average of 23 points, 36% from 3-point shooting. Improved defense on the part of James Yap, which has never been his forte, and this is the reason why they are on top 3-0 here.
Aside from the regular stars, of course, it's always good when a team has new stars coming up on the horizon. Rafi Reed is definitely a contributor for Purefoods.
Well, they were able to get him in exchange for Rico Villanueva. They found a defender, a 6'9", who's played in the championship games. And look at his averages. Nobody can box him out. He stays on the floor longer than Sonny Toss. Sonny should also be averaging in double figures if he can only keep himself in the ball game. Average of almost 5 fouls a ball game, fouled out last game. Rafi Ribis has defended without fouling and certainly had done a good job on rebounding and defense.
Okay, and we are just moments away from game number 4. I'll send it downstairs to our Coliseum announcer for some very important presentations before we start the game.
Good evening, PBA fans. Before we start Game 4 of the 2009-2010 KFC PBA Philippine Cup Finals, we would like to present to you 2 special awards tonight. The KFC Delivery Assist Player of the Conference and the Best Player of the 2009-2010 KFC PBA Philippine Cup. We will first give a special award to the KFC Delivery Assist Player of the Conference. This award is based on the best assist play achieved by your favorite PBA superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your top assist plays of the conference.
From the Burger King offers, Alex Camagnoy. From the Barangay in Ever Kings, J.J. Helterbrand. From the San Miguel Beerman, Jonas Villanueva. From the Alaska Aces, Willie Miller. And also from the Alaska Aces, L.A. Tenorio. And to award a KFC Delivery Assist Player of the Conference, may we please call in on center court PBA Commissioner Sonny Barrios, together with the Marketing Services Managers of KFC, Miss Melissa Acop and Miss Annie Mananzan. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2009-2010 KFC Delivery Assist Player of the Conference from the Alaska Aces, L.A. Tenorio. Congratulations, L.A. Tenorio will receive 5,000 pesos cash and 5,000 pesos worth of gift certificate from KFC. Thank you very much. Congratulations, L.A. Tenorio. Thank you very much, Miss Melissa Acop and Miss Annie Mananzan. May we request PBA Commissioner Sonny Barrios to stay on center court. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the candidates for the best player of the conference.
Here are the nominees for the best player in the conference award. From Santa Lucia Realtors, Kelly Williams. From Talking Text, Dropping Texters, Matt Cardona. From San Miguel Beerman, Arwin Santos. From Alaska Aces, Joe Devant. From Purefoods DJ Giants, James Yap. And from Alaska Aces, Willie Miller.
And the best player of the conference, garnering 211 statistical votes, 591 media votes, 128 votes from the players, 300 votes from Solar TV, and 150 votes from the PBA, for a total of 1,380 votes. The best player of the 2009-2010 KFC PBA Philippine Cup. From the Purefoods DJ Giants, James Yap.
And a 2009-2010 Philippine Cup Best Player of the Conference Award goes to James Yap of the Purefoods DJ Giants.
Congratulations, our best player of the conference, James Yap. And thank you very much, PBA Commissioner Sonny Barrios.
Congratulations to our winners of special prizes, L.A. Tenorio, and of course our best player of the conference, James Yap. Just moments away. Now, Dr. Jake, I think the question begs to be asked. why is it so difficult to come back from 3-0? And in sports, it's a rarity that teams manage to come back. And in basketball, I think it's even harder to be able to make a comeback.
Yeah, especially in a best-of-7 series. And I really believe I put it down in two words. No? And I think number one is pressure. I think no matter what you say, a team you will say 0-3, there's no pressure. That's not true. You played the whole conference, you played the elimination round, you played semifinals to get to this point to win a championship. And every game becomes a lot of pressure. Unlike the other team who has a lot of leeway, for Purefoods in this case, they have a lot of leeway. The other thing, Seb, is I think we're all human beings. It's always easy to say, you think one game at a time. But you're a human being. When you're on the floor, you can't think of one game at a time. This is a championship series. The other team is looking at the championship. So that adds another factor of pressure to yourself. Now you talk of the other thing, confidence. The confidence level of Alaska is obviously not very high. They have not been the same Alaska Aces that we have known. Like I said, it's uncharacteristic of this team to be losing in an end game, especially when they have a good-sized lead in the fourth quarter. Just doesn't happen. They hope to be able to correct that today. The other thing, if you go to the other side, conversely with Purefoods, they have a lot of confidence because they make comebacks from big leads and eventually win a very close game. That should add tons of confidence to their game. Those are the things that I think make it difficult for a team to come back, to have to do it 4 times in a row. And that is why maybe it's never happened in basketball. In other sports like the Yankees versus Boston, it did happen in the American League series a couple of years back, and Boston went on to win their first championship in the new era. And that I think may have happened also in hockey, but I'm not sure of the teams right now. So, you know, that is the factor that I feel it's difficult. Now, again, coaches would say, like team, he believes in the fact that we played close games. It could have been ours. And that's why that is what he's going to tell his players. We might have to win one in order to break that thing, that monotony that's been happening to us, that lack of confidence. We win one, we can go on and look at game number 5.
Absolutely.
And so on and so forth.
So deal with the pressure that is definitely layered here, and then it might boost our confidence later on.
Yeah, because remember, they topped the elimination rounds together with San Miguel. They had 13 wins. But they were able to they also had a losing streak, but they were able to come back from that in late January.
Yes.
Today is the first game of March that they're going to play this series. It has always been played in February.
Baka maiba.
Yeah, they're hoping maiba naman.
Of course, this is the same Alaska team that shut out Barangay Ginebra. Lest we forget that the first attempt by Purefoods goes awry. Here we go with the setup job for Alaska. The Aces with Devance. And of course, as pointed out, Ugnatan will be starting off. And a nice steal by Roger. Lead pass to Kirby Raimundo, who's slightly ahead, down.
And you can see Sanitos laid off. Ordinarily, he would have tried to block that shot, maybe commit another foul, but maybe he was told, take yourself away from giving up fouls. Some points you just have to give up to your opponents.
Kirby averaging 12 points in the series. Here's Toss with that hook of his, it drops in.
No change in the lineups for the first starting 5 for Purefoods, but we already mentioned that Tony De La Cruz was taken out of the starting 5 lineup, and in his place we have Reynel Hognatan being inserted in.
Fingers trying to make a decision here. Shot clock coming down to 7. Here comes James. Lets it fly. Left of the circle. Won't go. Here's Miller. Double digits all the way in the series. That won't bite, however. Raimundo is there to pick it up.
Well, the two candidates both had open shots there.
Each one with a miss. In the meantime, Roger.
This is a guy that has really improved this game a lot. Made it terrible for all the teams that they had to face in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals. You know, his matchup against the point guard has been always in his favor.
And he's up against Tenorio. Here's Devance launching with less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. That won't drop in, and it'll go the other way to Purefoods. And let's send it over to Chicky Rez. Chicky?
Thank you, Seb. In the dugout after Game 3, Coach Tim didn't waste time to send this message across. We are doing something right because the games have been close, but we have to stop what we are doing wrong. And according to the coaching staff of Alaska, what they're doing wrong is that they have frequently relied on their one-on-one skills rather than the passing game that Alaska is known for. What Coach Tim wants is more ball and player movement rather than attacks via one-on-one plays. Battle cry of the Aces tonight: if they can beat us 3 straight times, we can also beat them 3 straight times.
Thank you, Chicky. Chicky, of course, will be watching Alaska all night long. Our ball game. Sorry, Dr. J. 4-2. Go ahead, please.
I was just going to say that they want to get Hugnatan started. These are not the numbers of Reynald Hugnatan, and especially the turnovers. So they want to get him started. They put him on the post, isolated with Mark Pingris, sealing him deep and picking up an early foul from Pingris. Again, the touch there, Pingris is all over him. Hugnatan's not a guy who can really put the ball on the floor to get to the basket.
It's been unforgiving, that defense of Purefoods. Here comes the Vance, has no time to make a decision. It's heavy traffic, it's swatted by Rivas, but there's a foul prior to the block.
Well, that was just very good defense by Rivas.
You know, he takes so much pride in his defense, he's surprised when a foul is called on him, actually. Watch this.
Look at this, he never jumps. He jumped a little bit, but he was able to get a second jump, got a clear block. And Devance missing that first free throw.
Well, these are the finals, and I agree with you 100%. You're in the pressure cooker, no question about it. 2 misses by Devance. Roger playing with supreme confidence on the other hand. Here's Yap, swings left, goes right, hands off to Raimundo. Shot clock coming down to 10. Kirby nowhere to go. Inside we go for Pingris. Pingris short stab, and there's a foul.
Again, Sanitos picking up an early foul.
By the way, the gentlemen with the whistles are Aldaba, Balao, and Pascual with numbers 57, 70, and 76 respectively.
Good averages for Mark Pingris, 8 points, 9.7 rebounds. A lot of other factor with this very sticky-like defense, plus the scrambling for the loose balls. If you cannot get a rebound, you know, those are the things that have certainly helped the team in setting up picks.
And those are the things that coaches observe and notice. 13 points in the first game, takes care of the second free throw. How important is it for Alaska to have a better start? They've had good starts in the series, but do they need a better start, Dr. J?
Not really, because unless you can get a 20-point lead, then you can say maybe you have a lot of margin to work with. And another steal here, too many turnovers for Alaska. They're not going to call a timeout. Oh!
Conference MVP babying it. I think he took his eye off the hoop. Roger tries to clean up the mess.
And there's a timeout Alaska is going to ask for.
Purefoods coming out of the gates with passion. 7-2 with 8:25 to go. Okay, to report to us about Purefoods tonight will be Dominic Gui.
Thank you, Sev. The Purefoods TJ Giants are up 3-0 in this series, but they are playing game number 4 with guarded optimism because they know that the Alaska Aces can come back. They are thinking of just game number 4 and how did they win the first 3 games is how they're going to win or how they're going to play game number 4. They're looking at defense by disruption, denial of the passing lanes, and constant pressure off the ball.
Dominic Gui. He's not really Clark Kent if you think about it.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. We'll be reporting, as we mentioned, about Purefoods all night long. And James taking care of the inside. Gusto makabawi doon sa layup kaninang na-miss.
Alam mo, mahirap talaga ma-declare ng MVP. Puts a lot of pressure on you.
Yes, it did.
Even to Alvin, it has happened.
Oh, we've seen that through the years. In the meantime, the spin. Oh, good move by the big guy.
4 points in the ball game for Sanitos, the only player to have scored for Alaska here. Remember, Devance had the chance, but he missed 2 free throws. James has started off slowly here. Not that really has played good defense. He's just starting off slowly.
An engine slow to rev up. Meanwhile, here comes Lieutenant Adrenaline. They shop to the last moment, and they want to go to this guy early on.
As you notice, that is something that never happened for Alaska. They couldn't get a lot of fast break points in the first 3 games, and an easy timeout here called by Purefoods.
Back with us here for game number 4 of the finals. And you know, this guy has always been one of the important players for the Purefoods Standard UC Giants.
Against San Miguel, look at him in the semifinals. Almost 15 points a ball game. Very high shooting percentage. Pretty good percentage from the field.
Takes good shots, Dr. J.
Yeah, you know, and when he can glide to the basket, he's doubly hard to stop.
Figure roll. First pair points by the conference MVP. 9-6, Purefoods advancing early on here in the opening quarter, hoping to seal the deal here tonight. Alaska, of course, hoping that they will include basketball in their schedule tomorrow. Dominic, what do you have?
Seb, just a little bit of trivia. Historically, the last 4 guys who won the best player of the conference, and during that awarding night, his team actually lost. So if you're looking at it historically, the odds aren't going for Purefoods.
Lost the game only.
All right, you're making sure James kept the interior just now, huh? Okay. In the meantime, you just picked up that loose ball, Dominic. In the meantime, he's rushing. He's trying to go against Miller.
Early in this game, Alaska has already committed 3 clear turnovers. And they've been translated into layups on the other end. Actually, James even missed 1. Missed 2 in a sequence. No?
Took his eye off the hoop, actually. Tried to follow up, still didn't have his eye on the hoop. Thought it would be nice pass. Toss is doubled up by the D. Below the 6-minute mark now. James against Willie. Inside to Mark. Just like the apostles here. Turn around by Mark Fingers. LA Tenorio trying to be a little more deliberate, trying to set up the table properly here. Nice pass inside the toss, up against 4. Toss has to kick up. LA on the receiving end. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bit of traffic, LA succeeds in delivering.
That would have been another turnover. Just for lucky for Alaska that the ball slipped back to LA, who was underneath the basket. But again, they're very, very tentative with shooting underneath the basket, afraid of being blocked by the big men defense of Purefoods.
Just have to admire the way the defense of Purefoods has rotated on toss when he receives it downstairs where he likes it. There's Roger, lets it fly from right corner, bit short. It'll go to Alaska. Chicky, what do you have?
Thank you, Seb. If you're wondering why Reynald Hugnatan took the place of Tony De La Cruz in the starting 5 of Alaska, assistant coach Dickie Bachman said that they want James Yap to play defense early on. Versus Tony De La Cruz, James can relax on defense, but versus Reynald Hugnatan, he's forced to defend harder. Seb?
Those are other factors, of course.
Well, he's not guarding actually Reynald Hugnatan, but what happens there is Alaska runs someplace for them to switch off. No, you see right now the matchup is of course Pingris and Hugnatan, but they do run someplace wherein he screens off, and then a smaller man has to pick him up.
Boss lets it fly right on the circle area, taking care of 6 points now, and he has 6 of the 10.
Well, you know, a guy that has been missing simply because he couldn't play because of foul trouble.
Oh, yes.
Averaging almost 10 points, but he certainly could be more and do more. James is open. And the 3-point shot set by the screen of Kirby Raimundo. Of course, Alaska is complaining that that was an illegal screen because Kirby ran into the pot. And then an offensive foul. And we have Tronji Aldaba then refereeing this ball game.
And Tim Cohn.
But they cannot forget Tronji Aldaba.
Oh yes, no, they won't.
Yeah, they'll never forget him. They already forgot the other guy because he's not around.
Purefoods ahead by 4 minutes and 4 remaining. James.
Not offensive foul. But I think that will be almost close to traveling because he lost his footing there before banging into an established defender like Reynald Hurtado. And he's still talking with Aldaba, who was the referee of the year last year. It has always happened. Whoever is the referee of the year before has suffered of course he's been still refereeing, but they've all had their problems. Many of them are no longer here. As a matter of fact, all of them are no longer here.
Okay. Aces with the early change of possession. Miller launches, hold it as the referee. There's a foul.
You know, Willie has been very silent through this. I know in his heart he feels very, very sad that he's not been playing up to the level. As a matter of fact, Willie's expiring, I think, by the end of the next conference. So obviously, he would like to go out in style if he will stay with Alaska wherever he goes. And he got hit in the nose again in that play, maybe in the lip. So that might be a cut there, which they probably, well, it's okay. If there's bleeding, they would obviously have had 30 seconds to stop the bleeding.
Shot clock is 14, 3:45 to go, opening quarter, game number 4. Purefoods, of course, leading in the series. 3 games to nil. Miller creating, unable to drop it in. Under the basket, there's trapping and there's a push. Or is it an offensive foul?
I think yes, there was a push by Hignatan from behind.
Oh.
And that was caught by referee Pascual. That was second personal foul, yeah.
In the meantime, 3:27 to go. Fingers. Peñaleta. Baseline cut by Simonos in the game. Makes his move. 6 on the shot clock. 15-footer. Bang!
This guy is also an instant offense type of a player. That's a difficult shot, especially for a player coming off the bench.
12 points in game number 3. You pointed it out earlier, Dr. J, that he played well there. Ognatan gets a stretch.
You can't take off calls here.
They'll call it as an offensive foul. And the entire coaching staff, at least parts of them, reacting. Tim Cohn, of course.
And he's already on the floor.
And we'll take a short break and be back with you in a while. Okay, welcome back. So many things happening in that gap, actually. Tim Cohn was already called for a technical. He was inviting the referees to call it on him, actually.
Well, he went into the middle of the court, and that's a no-no. Well, obviously he wanted to stay to the point because I thought Aldaba was going to call an N1 for Hugnatan. But he changed his call when he saw Balao coming in. Balao was very sure about the fact that it was an offensive foul. So he gave way to Balao. So there was no conflicting calls, which would have resulted in a jump ball. He just gave way. And that was when Team Blue stopped there.
17-10, Purefoods jumping out in front. Nice pass downstairs.
Well, that's surprising because De La Cruz did a good job and being able to block the shot of Rafa Ribes. Ribes was too deep. He couldn't dunk it. No.
16,589 fans joining all of you wherever you may be in this nation of ours, this great country of ours. The meantime, defense looking inside, a quick turnaround shot. The southpaw stab both work. Rebound picked up by Miller.
Well, there might be a couple of hundred more in a few minutes, you know.
Yep, I agree.
Still early here.
May mga spaces pa. Under the basket we go. There's a traffic jam. Nowhere to go. No side street to enter into, but there's a good stab at it.
Another offensive foul.
I guess so.
Again, made by Balao.
And Tim Cohn already with a technical says
he's not going to take himself out of the game.
Not tonight.
But you can see here, he's so deep. He really has no place. I think that was just overacting. I don't really think he could have moved him that much. maybe an offensive fouling because there was a motion to hit him to get him out of the way.
Well, it's Oscar season, Dr. J.
Kailan yan? Malapit na.
Malapit na. Daming magandang kandidato. Sa Oscars, ha? Kirby, bottled up.
Very good move and up and under move by Kirby Raimundo, and the biggest lead of the ball game for the TJ for Purefoods Giants here.
And I guess the biggest compliment when you are imitated by players in a covered courts, like in Ateneo, the kids, they like to do their Kirby move. The up and under, just master that. Here's the Vance, his version. The defense, oh boy, no shot remains unchallenged when it's Purefoods playing D.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that if you look at the whole series, it's been down to one thing. Purefoods has gone into this series. We're going to take away the points of Willie Miller and L.A. Tenorio. We're going to take away the penetration of Willie Miller and Tenorio. And we will jump every high pick and roll that they do. No matter what happens, even if we are faced with a mismatch, with their big man setting the pick, we will go back to them. But we will not let L.A. and Willie Miller penetrate, because those are the times when they can kick out, make easy layups, pass the ball. Those are the things that Purefoods has taken away from Alaska.
If you were to use a metaphor, Purefoods has taken away the batons from the conductors of the orchestra.
Kaya nga sinasabi nga ni team ko, hindi kami maka-execute.
Lalo na sa dulo.
We cannot execute kasi linalabanan nila lahat. And they've taken away. Throughout the conference, if you notice, everybody was saying Alaska was playing so well because of two players being able to conduct so well. Willie Miller and L.A. Tenorio.
Aliado, by the way, is in the game already. Here's Kirby Raimundo, still there. There's, how will this go? An offensive foul. They call it against Aliado.
A lot of offensive fouls are being called in this ball game. Yeah, Bala was a pretty good referee. I've been watching him through the years. He's also very emphatic with his calls.
Hindi rin naman nag-hesitate, ano ha?
Yeah.
L.A. Tenorio sees how the offense is flowing. 48 seconds remaining. 11 on this set. Here's Ferriols.
He's a guy that's really played well for Alaska coming off the bench. That experience. You know, he's really come off the bench. For me, he's played so much better than Nathan, but he doesn't get that enough time. But he is very, very steady. And, you know, he's not big, but he does play big underneath the basket.
One more apostle on the board, Dr. J.
That's right.
Averaging 5 points in the series.
You know, St. John is the youngest, but here he might be the oldest. Next to Cariaso.
Kirby, clean as a whistle. The veteran with 7.
KG, favorite player of Kirby Raimundo. KG, Kevin Garnett.
Huge pick by Ferriols. 6 seconds remaining. Tablay goes inside, may go to the free throw line.
So he's one guy that's been able to penetrate because he didn't choose any pick and rolls. He did it by the cross dribble, no? Changing from left to right. The crossover and then moving quickly to the basket. So he was able to get to the basket and get a foul.
Dr. J, you're right about the extra 100 or so still
coming in.
And Willie Marshall, the media bureau chief, is in a state of utter confusion right now.
And you can see a lot of standing up being done there, especially in the upper level as well as in the gallery section. And we would like to later suspense.
Hold that thought. Oh! Minamaster niya ngayon yan. Baka sakaling magamit sa game in the future. We'll hold the thought of Dr. J. Get back to that very quickly. But Purefoods is ahead in the first quarter of game number 4. Is this the night for them? We'll find out. There's something about this all-boys crew tonight, but I don't mind really. Chiki, go ahead.
Thank you, Seb. You know, the jersey of Willie Miller is partly covered with blood, according to the PT of Alaska. The swollen nose of Willie bled again after it got hit accidentally by James Yap. This was the same injury he suffered when Rafi Rivas hit his nose in Game 3. But it's Game 4, so expect Willie to finish this game regardless of the condition of his nose, Seb.
And the second quarter is underway. Tenorio might steal it away. Got it. Lead pass now. The van slows down. Aliado's waiting for him. So in the first quarter, Dr. J, we found Purefoods getting some of the job done defensively as Berrios make this kulang ng lift yung tira na yun.
At saka maganda depensa sa kanya ni Salvador, no? Never bit into any fake. It was just on top of him. If he makes a shot, he makes it.
Cañaleta to Meyerhofer. A new set of warriors already on the floor for Purefoods.
Well, with the kind of defense that you extend, fighting all screens, jumping on anything, you better have fresh players on the court, and that's exactly what they had. But they got caught with a 24-second shot clock violation. Hinabaan na niya rotation niya talaga. Kahit 3 minuto lang maibigay niyo sa akin, okay na sa kay Ryan yan.
And there's that blood that Chicky was talking about. Applying Tenorio together with Berrios. De La Cruz on the floor. Devance, the fifth man completing the quintet on the floor. Devance, 15-foot line, tries to dance in the box. Was clipped on the arm. Salvador will reach for the sky.
Number 61, Jordan Salvador, his first team foul for the Purefoods TJ Giants.
That's taking care of the first, and I'd like you to meet the Valderrama family, because here at the PBA we don't just give action-packed games, we also provide great surprises like our Mr. Donut Surprise family of the gig. Congratulations to the Valderrama family. Mr. Donut, sarap pang surprise.
Valderrama. And then,
nice name, though.
Spanish. There's a place in Spain, Valderrama.
I think so, yes. Conjures images of, we'll keep it at that.
James Yap back in the ball game for Cañaleta.
Artadi. I saw him arrive at the Coliseum, and he has one of the smallest cars I have ever seen. And he says, "Ang cute, ano, Sir Seb?" Look at this move by Artadi.
You can see the Banshee's feet is in that circle, so he's going to be called for the blocking foul. And a three-point play coming up here for Paul Artadi. Well, Purefoods certainly plucked the right players from Ginebra and from San Miguel. Both are winners.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Artadi and Pingris. And they hope to be able to translate into another championship, this time with another team.
Pressure in the backcourt. Miller. LA.
Good block.
They pass.
A little bit too long. I think Meyerhofer hesitated a little bit. He should be running towards the basket, and Artadi would have thrown it to the basket. Obviously, the advantage of height would have been for Meyerhofer. Look at how high they meet their players, and then forcing that turnover. How high? That's 30 feet away from the basket. That guy's not going to shoot from there. But what they want to do is disrupt the passing, the triangle offense, and they've done a great job on that
throughout the series. Second quarter down to 9:45, 24-17 count.
And Aliado setting an illegal pick there.
Number 41, Aliado.
And Aliado ends up with his second foul. Trinidad is jumping up and down, not because whether he fouled it or not, just wants to play, and usually 2 fouls signals the coaches to bring him out.
Dan is far from the prime of his career. Actually, he's been moving from team to team dahil marami na rin nag-iisip, does he still have it, no? Pero certainly it's shown. Look how far they need you, how far they get into your throat. That's a 5'10" guarding a 6'5" player.
9:32 remaining. And the Aces need to talk things over. Huge size crowd, close to 17,000. Oh boy, they're happy despite the fact their team behind right now. Happy to be on television as well.
Well, Alaska is in red. Their fans, while Purefoods blue and red na kanilang uniform, dark. But they're in blue, yung mga fans nila. Great contribution. Nakakadepensa, nakablangka pa, nakashoot pa. Salvador really giving them a big lift here. That's what Purefoods has been able to find throughout the series.
Even in his amateur days, quite a contributor, quite a scorer, in fact.
He was a very high pick. I think number 2 pick overall then, or number 3. I'm not sure.
Dominic, if you've got a report, let's give it to you.
One thing that was very successful for the TJ Giants in that San Miguel series was a biblical passage that Coach Coy Banao shared with them. It's a story about David and Goliath. Now they are actually up 3-0. They reminded the players and said, you know what, remember what we did in game number 6? Cut off the head of Goliath? Well, that's what we need to do today to be able to win this championship.
It's all right to be biblical as long as the metaphor is correct, huh? Right? Okay. Get the point, guys. You can go on and on. The most quoted book of all time. I guess sow what you reap, what you sow, and all that. Will probably apply as well. In the meantime, 26-17, 8:39 remaining. Willie Miller, he needs to explode here in a huge way for Alaska, for them to stay alive in this series.
Yeah, he's open.
Oh, wide open. But there was contact underneath.
I like Artadi. He's the only one who admitted he committed the foul. Nobody else has done so in this game so far.
It ends the discussion quickly, doesn't it?
Tapos.
Remember the olden days when you had to raise your hand?
Yeah, it was a rule. It was a SOP. No?
Yes. Referee Kahanding, make sure that you raised your hand. Miller.
Great opportunity for a 3-point play, but even missing that one.
Samantala, in celebration of the Araneta Coliseum's 50th anniversary, the Araneta Center presents Julio Iglesias in Heart of Gold. And Julio will be here on March 20 for a special charity concert to benefit the Typhoon Ondoy victims. Buy your tickets now, 911-5555, ticketnet.com.ph, the other place to go to.
Willie Miller missing that first free throw. Alaska only 17 points. Happy birthday, Commissioner. Happy birthday, pare. And of course, kanyang consultant sa si Romy Guevara. Yes. Sunny Barrios celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So he hopes that there will be no discussions.
Nobody comes to see him, but let's see.
I certainly would like to have a day with his family.
Yes.
Don't want to be talking about basketball. There's a game on Sunday, so be it.
In the meantime, they tap it around. It lands in the hands of Alaska. 8 minutes and 3 remaining. Willie uncorks.
Malayo ang tira ni Willie. You can see there's no confidence in that shot. No? It's not the way I know him,
Parang walang pitik, walang lutong. Shot clock at 6. Kirby says set, fire, bang!
Ibang-iba yung nasa kapila. Itong player na small forward, power forward, ang galing tumira ng 3-point shot.
Parang Olympic sport, ano? Set, fire, bang! Parang clay skeet shooting. Decision time with 5 on the shot clock. Good turn, overcooked. Rebound, Miller has it. Shot clock continues.
Oh, and he just realized that at the last second that there was only 1 second left na hindi tumama yung bola sa ring. But, presence of mind on the part of the thriller.
Better time to have an epiphany than never at all, Dr. J.
Favorite shot of James Sharp, driving to the basket, holding it with one hand.
Second team foul on Miller. Yep, all set for charities. Pockets the first. Come on, Dad, I want to go home early. In the meantime, meet Jubel. And she's our Francie Colon refreshing face of the game. Francie Colon, ang pabango ng bayan. The friend, yeah, she's right behind us. And the friend said, sige, kaway ka dyan.
Nagulat niya ako. Parang nakita ko na yung babae
kanina sa opening. 31-20. 6:53 to go.
You look at that trap there.
Gotcha.
You can't have a Borbolan being the one throwing that in, you know.
Kirby. You know, I like about Fingers, you might say that he does not have confidence with his shot, but the one thing he'll do correctly is he'll follow in for his follow-up to go in for his own miss. In the meantime, we've got a full ceasefire. It's a 13-point lead. Back in a moment. Purefoods currently enjoying its biggest spread in the ball game. 6:25 remaining in the quarter. Seth Sarmenta with the Dr. Andy Rao here together with Tiki Reyes and Dominic Oy. Nice pass to Toss who cans it.
He's the only guy who's really played well for the team. He's got 8 points. Really shows that a big man can still be dominating. You can easily stop a small man if you send 2 men to him. But a big man, really very difficult to stop.
Some numbers on your picture. On a share in the ballgame for the first time, commits his first foul. Sideline inbound. Roger tried to dance inside. Oh boy, he just created that. Roger with 6. Here's the Vance. Shot clock coming down to 7. Vance, Miller gets it to bite.
Again, really bailing them out. The Vance unwilling to take a shot that Tenorio had kicked out already, and really, again, under time pressure, making a big 3-point shot here.
Parang yung 1 second yan, ang tagal sa kanya. No? Roger.
Maganda depensa ni Willie kay Roger Yap yun. That resulted into that turnover because Larry was on top of James Yap all the way.
10-point game. 5:05 remaining here in Game 4 and its first half. Miller. Fingers with a foul. Chicky, what do you have?
Thanks, Sev. In the last time out of Alaska, Coach Tim Cohn told his boys, guys, you are playing as if you don't care. He then reminded his players to play calm, to play intelligent basketball, to get screens properly, pass the ball with precision, and avoid turning the ball over. Sev?
Dr. J, let's go back to those 2 points about confidence and the poise.
Well, the pressure is on Alaska. Every game, talaga may problema sila. Every game that they have to play after being down 0-3.
Just quickly, KFC delivery assist of the quarter. Joy watching the PBM finger-looking food. 887-8888 now.
Then the confidence level on the part of Purefoods. And nanalo sila, everything that they have done defensively and offensively have gone correctly. So they're not going to go out of that comfort zone. It's for Alaska to keep on thinking of ideas what to do. Maybe they have stopped thinking of ideas and just let's just play naturally. We're not playing naturally because we don't have the confidence.
Difficult pocket to be in.
Yan ang maganda depensa ng Alaska. But I thought Kirby had an opportunity there.
To reset and recycle. Larry Bonacher trying to gain momentum. Misses the shot. The follow-up by Miller. It won't drop. Purefoods doing a good job not giving up on that last sequence. Roger applies the brakes, kicks it outside. Simon. Follow-up.
There's a push. It's a push from behind. It might be on Ribis or on Pingris. Let me see. Rafi Ribis. This is something that's working against Purefoods. Getting into the penalty early in this quarter has allowed Alaska to go to the free throw line a lot.
And they're literally crawling back into the ball game.
Still a long way to go.
Yes, indeed. But they'll take this, Dr. J. No matter how hard it is, they'll take this arduous journey if they have to. They want to stay alive and include basketball in their week schedule.
Yeah, you know, because we'd like to let you know, whatever happens, if Alaska can win, we won't have a game on Friday. Araneta is not available, and if there's a game 5, it's scheduled on Sunday here at Araneta. So right, with that in mind, Alaska knows you just have to put all your bodies on the floor. Type ng bola, masaktan ka na. There's nothing left anymore anyway if you lose. So you have to give it all. But if you can win, you have a rest day.
Yep.
You have Thursday and Friday and Saturday. You know, so you can rest Thursday and practice Friday and Saturday.
Something similar to what Rick Bettina told his Providence team in the USNCAA. Probably they're better than us, but there's one thing we can do left. Put our hearts on the floor. Maybe something will happen. That shot rings the bell, however.
2-point shot for Roger Yap. 7 points in the ball game now for Roger. Kirby leads them with 10 points, partner.
Yep, that's always a good thing. 3 and 30. Nice pass. Oh, he said it at the same time. And a nice follow, Dr. J.
I'm sure Coach Ryan's not going to be happy with that because he already missed the shot. Obviously, before they would have gotten the follow-up easily. They would have gotten the rebound easily.
We take a full timeout and a chance for Alaska to talk things over and Purefoods as well. Mayong gabi, kaninyong tanan, all of you watching in Visayas and Mindanao, sa mga taga Bacolod, Cagayan, Iloilo, mayong gabi man sa inyo. About mo tao sa bunga, 17,000. And joining all of you wherever you are.
Well, you're talking about Bacolod. My buddy Alex is in Bacolod, so I'm sure nanonood yun dahil adik sa PBA yun.
37-30, Aliados back on the floor. Kirby Raimundo zips it over to Roger. Back to Kirby. Lets it fly.
Yan lang ang problema mo. If Kirby plays on top and you let a small man guard him, he can shoot over you. Of course, he has to make that kind of shot. Hindi naman madali yun. No?
I like the way he shoots it with utter confidence, supreme confidence.
3-0 sila, partner.
At saka, siya yung malaki. Sige, kayo rebound dyan. Kaya sa swak ko to. Miller curls. Just short. Raimundo picks up the rebound. 2.5. Roger attracts everybody.
Ball will stay with Purefoods.
With a shot clock of 14. That's Nathan, who started for Alaska here tonight, back on the floor. .226 remaining. Back to the man who inbounded the ball. Always a dangerous situation if you're playing defense. LA, ball fake, drop inside. Ugnata can't shoot. Tenorio with time to spare, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Crossover dribble.
Well, one of the few times that they're able to penetrate because they didn't use any high pick and rolls, and it was a one-on-one with the big man helping up downstairs.
Mark Pingris collecting foul number 3 with 2 minutes and 3 remaining.
That could be a bad sign for Purefoods because he's really been an anchor of defense. Silang dalawa ni Rafi Ribes.
Parang nakita na rin ni Pingris yung kanyang reach dito. No? Samantala, this is the Tenorio to Toss team up in our KFC. That's his delivery of the quarter. Enjoy watching PBA action. Finger licking good food. 887-8888 now. Last Sunday, pamilya namin. Galit yan sa mundo. Dalawang original recipe, dalawang spicy. Ako, ubus lahat.
Hindi, masarap na.
Ubus lahat talaga. Mga pamangking ko. Tapos iniinom pa yung gravy.
Nag-order ka pa ng gravy.
Oo,
kasi hindi talaga kasya yun. Order ka ng extra.
Yan, friend.
Order ka rin ng coleslaw.
Larry Bonacier, 3 steps ahead.
You know, Larry is a guy that they really should use. Why? Larry has played in championships. Larry was played in a championships in his rookie year and won Rookie of the Year with Red Bull.
Yes, indeed.
And he really played well. You know, he's a guy who can play. Only he's coming off an injury that happened in the semifinals.
This was aside from his college injury before.
Kirby again! In and out, pero nandun na naman yung linya.
Alaska tends to end up watching the Kirby Raimundo shot. Nice dish up at the last moment to Hugnatan. Didn't get the bounce to trickle in, but he'll go to the line.
Now, those are the things that Alaska usually finishes up very well. Usually 3-point play yan. But they've missed already 2 of that kind, 2 of the same type of shots here in this ball game in the first half. But they're making a comeback here.
Yes, Roger up with his second foul. Now this is something you will not want to miss. A variety of options for you to watch this. And just 11 days ago before the event, Pacquiao Flory, March 14, dito sa atin at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. We're the Backman's most glorious battles on Solar TV as we count down to the event every night at 11 p.m. February 28 to March 13 exclusively here on Solar TV. Every night is Pacquiao Night on Solar TV. Now you know.
Yung pa masakit kay Hugnatan. Dapat 3-point play, but he only got 1 point out of it because he missed the first free throw.
Now, is this the closest they've been? Yes, I think.
Yes. They came to within 6.
Hang time. And a chance to inch in even closer here.
Well, there might be 3 more offensive plays for us here. Here's one.
That won't work. Toss tried to climb over the backs of his opponents. In the meantime, the dish up at the last moment. And right away, there's a foul.
Good foul by Larry Bonacier. They're not in the penalty. So he fouled him before he could even attempt a shot, and he passed off. So it'll just be a side court throw. Now, because Alaska played that well, if Purefoods plays quickly, they also have a 2-on-1 situation available to them.
Yes. Bonacier collected his second foul. Larry trying to keep in step with Yap. Yap with that layup, it won't bite. And a new opportunity for Alaska to come in even closer. Lieutenant Adrenaline gets it to drop.
A good timeout called here by Coach Ryan Gregorio. 30-second timeout ito. 3 na lamang ang lamang. Ito ang paborito nating panahon na Handy Pigs.
Yes! Brought to you by Handy Pigs. Ang first side ng bahay mo, Bansol, seals all.
Bakit ha? Sabi ni Ryan, teka muna, ipipix ko muna. Nagkakagulo tayo na wala yung 10 na lamang natin. 25.8 siya, wag tayo mag-apura, wala tayong turnover. Pwede tumira tayo malapit-lapit na doon sa oras.
Ano bang butas sa pwede nating tapalan ng konti rito, ha?
Ayaw ko naman sabihin, ito na lang. Nabali itong ano. But, you know, got real good products helping us here in the PBA.
Absolutely. They're all our friends here, and we got to know them a little better throughout the conference. It's this crowd of 17,000. Oh, ako nira-round up ko lang, ha?
Hindi, medyo marami na natin. Kanina nakita ko kasi yung mga ibang reserve seats, wala pang tao. Obviously, nabenta na yan.
And 7-0 Grand Shadow Soto enjoying the action. And by the way, some of the winners of the PBA Student Sports Writers Competition will be given their prizes later on. The future crop of sports writers. The guy from UP won it. In the meantime,
hindi atake yan si Roger. Magulang yan. They have the time to use. Oh, but a turnover here. Ang sakit nun para kay Kanyaleta. This is the thing. When you call that timeout, yun ang reminder mo. Huwag tayong mag-apura. Huwag tayong magta-turnover. Ngayon, huwag tayong pumaul. Dahil nasa penalty tayo. Ito naman si Eli, pinagalan masyado ang laro. Kala niya matagal pa oras.
And he suddenly realized, let's tie it if we can!
Oh! What a shot! Kobe! Kobe, yesterday, kanina, may pinagdaw ko si Kobe kanina.
And the series has taken on a different complexion. At least here in the first half, it's 40 apiece. with Tenorio deciding let's do something about this before we hie up to the locker room. Dominic Uy is just about ready to chat with somebody very important from Purefoods. If he's ready, go ahead, take it away. Dominic is with Roger Yap.
Thank you, Seth. Roger, maganda yung simula nyo, pero itong second quarter, humabol na itong Alaska Aces.
Okay. Yun yung problema namin. Medyo nag-relax yung mga kasama namin kasama ko sa yung team. Nag-relax na depensa. Kaya siguro sa second half, kaya namin yung depensa namin. Kailangan tibayan pa namin.
Alright, thank you, Roger. Seth, Dr. J.
Thanks a lot, Dominic. And a bit of a slip defensively on the part of Purefoods, especially towards the end of the second quarter. Here's that shot that you were talking about, Dr. J.
Well, here, took his time, but then he realized that he's not going to be able to penetrate. They're ready to close in with that box defense of theirs, and he takes it and challenged by Roger Yap. Plenty of time left. There could have been a possible rebound play. No white shirts coming into the picture, but it just went in.
Sa kabila yun nangyari, sumabog yung Alaska pa. Kaso Purefoods fans yun nandun.
Bumagsak lahat ang pakiramdam doon.
Parang tinira. Yung kinover mo dati si Michael Jordan, tinira yung tira na yun against Utah. Back in a moment with halftime.